Hello everybody, I'm glad to be live finally. I need to adjust the camera, although I did it, and that's the reason for the little delay. I was making the space beautiful, myself beautiful, and still the camera is not in the correct position. But that's fine, that's fine. Okay, let me try a little bit more. Like that, yeah, Yeah, there we go. Hello, sister, so happy to see you here. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Instagram. Hello, 2025. This is Satya Magdalena here, with my tarot readings, with all new energy, having gone through a beautiful reset in the end of the year, and coming from kind of a dark space, back to light slowly, because the end of the year, especially being here in this Nordic hemisphere, it was really challenging for me, and the whole last year, many people say, was challenging for them, and I'm going to talk about that too, about the last year and why that might have been challenging for some people and amazing for some people, and both of them for some people, as myself, in a bit, because the energies of the last year are the ones that have carried us into the next year. And especially when we talk, when we speak in terms of tarot, the tarot is a system. So if I want to talk about the energies that carry the year 2025, so the Arcana or the archetypal energy that characterizes that year, then it makes sense that I look into the last year, or where we come from as well, because tarot is a system, and especially major arcana, that gives us those archetypal energies that we then can relate either to our own personal life and personality, and how our life unfolds, similarly to astrology, right? Where we have the sun sign, we have the moon sign, we have the ascendant, and moon nodes, and north and south nodes, and all of this stuff. Then in the same manner, we can look at our lives and ourselves through tarology and the system of tarot. And when we do that, we look into the part of tarot that we call a major arcana. And in the major arcana, that is composed of 21 cards, in major arcana we find what we can call a journey of the hero, a journey of the soul. And this is a whole, like a circle of life, or I like to call it the whole tarot system, actually, both minor and major arcana together. I like to call it the mandala of life. But I would say, if I'm like thinking out loud at the moment, because while I'm reading the tarot and while I am the master of tarot, and I actually just finished an outline of an online course that I'm going to call out this year. Woohoo! Celebrate with me. Oh, so good to see you too. Mwah. And yes, I've just written the outline of an online course for learning tarot in a really special way that allows you to connect to the cards personally, and meditatively and internally, instead of just learning the theory about them. And as much as I am in already to the tarot system. I'm also learning all the time. And actually I called that course just the same way as I was just speaking about tarot, the mandala of life. And now coming back to the thought, I left that. If I think about tarot as the mandala of life, and then the major arcana and the minor arcana, I would say that now thinking out loud, because I haven't imagined it in that way yet, but tarot is really a world of endless discovery and endless learning and going deeper and deeper with that. So if I think about it this way, like really imagining a mandala in front of me, then I think I would put the major arcana in the middle, as the inner circle from which everything begins. And then the minor arcana would come around that as the more peripheral circle, right? Yeah. Alrighty. Hello to the ones who are already here. I hope you see and hear me well, and it's all good. I would like to lift that camera a little bit more. Let me make another attempt here. Goodness. Okay, that's it. That's the maximum. Yeah. Alrighty. So thank you for the ones who you are. Those perfect imperfections, and I'm still a perfectionist, I must admit, as can be seen on that picture in front of you. So thank you the ones who are here right now, who you are watching this live. Thank you for joining in, whoever is joining in a little bit later, and thank you for the ones who will watch a replay in YouTube or Facebook or wherever this video replay will be available. And what I invite you to do whenever and wherever you are watching this this video is to feel within you, and to give yourself, before absorbing the information that I am going to give, before that, just give a little introspection for yourself. And the questions that you could reflect upon could be: what are your main takeaways or highlights, both in beautiful and in maybe more challenging ways, from the 2024? So what are your main growths? What are your main highlights? What are your main learnings? And then a look into 2025, asking yourself, what is alive within you? What is alive in your heart, in your body, and in your soul right now on January 6th, 2025, that you are going into this year with? What is maybe a continuation from last year? What is completely new? What is simply alive? Right. Yeah. So, I'm going to put, while you reflect within yourself, because that's how you tune in and that's how you get the maximum also from what I am going to say. So while you are doing that, I'm going to put down 3 decks of cards in front of me. And while you are doing your inner reflection, asking those questions, tuning within before you tune in with me and what I have to say, you can also look at the decks of the cards that I'm going to put in front of me, and you can already also feel into which of them is calling you today. So this is the first one, and I shall call this one as deck number 1 for us tonight. Here it is, and you will also see it in the camera. I see it's still here. Yeah. Then deck number 2 will be this beauty here. Oh, and that already gave out the first card for us. Beautiful. I'm not going to say which card it was. I'm gonna do it later, so you wouldn't be biased when you choose the deck that you want to receive the message from. So this will be the second one, and I will call it to deck number 2 for us tonight. And I'm putting it in front of me right here. And the deck number 3 comes from here tonight. And this one is the deck number 3. So, tuning within, asking yourself, what are my highlights, my lessons from 2024, and what is it that is alive right now in the beginning of 25 that I look into the new year with. And while you do that, choose your deck. Don't think about it. You can't think about it anyway, so trust your intuition, trust your first impulse. That's usually right. So, number 1. And you can also feel free to write down the number that you choose your message from in the comments. Number 2. Number 3. So make a choice, and in a little bit I'm going into the personal messages. Number 2, Summer, amazing. yeah, makes sense. Based on this one card that already fell out, I feel the resonance. I feel the resonance there. Yeah. So before I'm going into all those 3 and into the personal messages for this year for you, I want to say a few words about the general energies of this year and also of the last year that we just went through. So 2025, when you summarize those numbers, you get number 9. And number 9 in the major arcana, as I said previously, we take those general energies over the year or our personal arcanas in life, we take them from the major arcana. And number 9 in the major arcana is the arcana or archetype of the Hermit. Now, the Hermit, I would say, is one of the most crucial steps on our path, especially for everybody really, but not especially, but how to put it, it resonates and you feel it more strongly if you have chosen a conscious path or the path of awakening or the spiritual path, however we call it. And I say that you feel more strongly or that it resonates more strongly with you if you have done it consciously, because in that case you really know. This stand is really not working. All right, there we go. I shall have a new stand for in my New Year's buying list. That's really annoying, but I try to keep focused. All right, so you feel it more strongly, it resonates more if you have chosen the spiritual path consciously, because in that case you know more straightforward what does it mean to go within and to follow your inner light. Number 3, amazing. Following your inner light. That's like this golden deck is really, it looks like a light in a way. And then following your inner light means turning inwards. Because if we are going about in our earthly lives in the common or normal programming of this society, especially in the Western world, that has lost the spiritual tradition, even more compared to the Eastern world, then we don't really look so much within. We consider in that case this kind of like looking within and finding different values than those really material ones. We consider that something weird. We call it esoteric, and it is esoteric because if we take but without irony, because if we take the word esoteric from Latin, what does it mean? It means inwards, esoteric, while exoteric would be outwards, right? So in the like normal, and I put it in the quotation marks because it's not normal at all, really, to live only outwardly and to be focused on the outer world and the achievements and the money and the jobs and the TV and the car and whatever the outer things are, or even the intelligence, only outward intelligence. Like the Western science has really mastered the technology, like the physics. We know the outer world really well, but we don't know almost anything about our inner world. But we really need that, because at some point we discover that we might have it all, and we should be happy because outwardly we kind of have everything, but we are not, and we have health issues, and our relationships don't work well, and we don't feel fulfilled, and something is missing, and we are anxious all the time or whatever. And that's when people oftentimes turn inwards. Now, this year, signified by number 9, the Hermit, is the year to really turn within. And the Hermit is the one who has already gone through quite some journey and has acquired quite some mastery and knowledge and wisdom about life and about themselves. So they actually do have this quality, this strength and this courage to say that I don't care what other people think. I don't care that I don't belong to those masses. I don't care that I might be looked at as esoteric or like a crazy hippie, or whatever. But I know what is truth. I know what it means to be in contact with my inner light. And I know that the truth is in the silence and in the peace of the heart. And it is deep within. And I am ready to go even deeper. And I am ready to isolate myself in a way, at least for some time, or in some ways, from the outer world in order to be focused on that inner light. And to go for it throughout all my darkness, whatever there might be. But I know that I have my lantern, I have my light. It will not be extinguished, it will not be gone, I will not be lost as long as I keep my own light. And that is my only task. Besides that, nothing matters. I just follow my steps throughout my own darkness, throughout the valley of my own shadows, and I am ready for it. Because I know that this is the necessary step I need to take in order to progress and continue and have a new turn coming up in my life. So the next year, running a little bit forward, because everything is connected, will be characterized by number 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune, as the Arcana or archetype of the year, which means the turn, the major, huge turn on our journey. So in order to be ready for that turn, and in order to make sure that this turn is a turn forward, not backward. Actually, we cannot go backward, but the quality of the turn is dependent on how we are prepared. And this year is the year to really, really develop the qualities of the hermit, of the one who follows only their own truth and their own inner light. And in real life, of course, unless you really decide to go to an ashram where you kind of take your time in solitude or something like that, but unless you do that, then in real life, the hermit does not mean that you literally will be a hermit and you will go and live in the cave, in the mountain, and will see nobody in the world. It's just, it's the arcana, or it's the energy, it's the name that that just describes the quality of that step on your hero's journey in this life, on your soul's journey in this life. So in real life, you will sustain relationships. You will still go out. You will go to your job. You will have your relationships. But the quality of the relationships is also changing with you. So the hermit, one of the really cool qualities that the hermit has is that, when you go within, when you follow that inner light, when you focus on that reality that is mystical, that is internal, that is the reality of your heart and soul, you discover so much magic, you discover so much beauty, so much mysticism. And my darling, it's so damn interesting. It's much more interesting than any TV series you could ever watch. Actually, you might discover your creative potential. You might discover a newfound talent of fantasy to write poetry or to draw pictures or to make sculptures, whatever kind of art. Because finding those talents also requires that quality and that depth. You need to go deep. So you might even be able to write a new story, or a new, I don't know, cartoon or TV show or whatever, based on your own inner journey. You know what I mean? So one of the really cool qualities that give us the independence and sovereignty, because this independence and sovereignty in a good ways are the huge main qualities of the hermit. So what gives us that sovereignty and independence is that our internal life is so interesting. It's so vivid. It's so alive. It's so full of wonders. Even though if we go through the darkness, even though if there are difficult moments, but there is also so much magic and so much beauty and so much real love and so much experience that is so real and so true and so wow, that when we now choose our relationships and our environments and people we interact and surround ourselves with, then we choose accordingly. We choose the kind of people and environments that reflect that inner reality. Because we are in tune and we spend good time with ourselves. We are interested in ourselves. It's interesting and exciting to live our lives from inside out, not the other way around. And that makes us also choose carefully. We don't need to belong to the masses, we are sovereign. So we choose our people in the same way, so that we can talk about this kind of things, so that we can go deep, that we can share, the light of our hearts and see each other's light. So this hermit archetype will not exclude you from relationships, but it will change also the quality of relationships and makes you more selective. Right. So, the Hermit. And yeah, there is so much I could say about this archetype. It's related to the astrology sign Virgo, which means that by going within, you will also find your deeper, like, sexual powers. The sexual powers that are based on purity and innocence. And again, it's all interrelated, because sexuality is one thing that has been the most demonized and that is the most wounded in us. And that is so much in the shadows. So it makes all the sense that going through the shadows, going with our inner light, with the light of our hearts, we also find the deeper layers of our sexuality and the purity and innocence of that, which makes the quality of sexuality within and without a completely different reality too. And that in turn gives sexuality the power and the quality that it has and that it should have, and that is the quality of being the force of life, the pure life force and the source of creative energy and potential. So, the year of the Hermit. And it is challenging for many people because we are so used to, even if we have chosen the spiritual path consciously, and I'm making this distinction between choosing consciously and not choosing consciously, because the fact that someone hasn't chosen the path consciously doesn't mean that they are not on the path, because we are all spiritual beings. As much as we are physical and emotional and social beings, we are also spiritual beings, and we all have the soul, and we are all connected to the wider universe. So consciously or not, but we are all on the path. It's just that being there consciously makes it more deep, more intense, but also more beautiful and more powerful. But anyhow, even if we have chosen the path consciously already and we are on the path, then the Hermit archetype is challenging, namely because of that, because we still are really used to, from the conditioning throughout generations to, be really outward oriented, and spend much of our time not looking within but outwards, and sometimes it might be required that we don't choose some activities or some people, and we do isolate ourselves in some ways or for some time. And that is always a little bit challenging. And also the challenge is there because you need a courage to go into your darkness, because you can't find that inner light if you don't go to the darkness of yourself. And that might feel scary, but this radical honesty and the trust to follow your steps and to follow that lantern and to keep it burning, and you know that it will be burning, that takes some courage. So these might be the challenges, but it's inescapable, and it's worth it. And because we have the year of the Hermit, it means that the energies of the universe are actually supporting us. They are supporting that step, and they are supporting us also when we go through the challenges that are related to the Hermit archetype. Because, you know, life is never happening against us. Life is always happening for us. And the universe, no matter how much we might disagree or not believe it in some moments in our lives, but the universe is always conspiring for us. So whatever the challenges might be, whatever the fears might be, know that you are supported. It's time. Right. So, and so this is the 25, the main energies of the 2025, and just a few words, not too long, about the 2024. So that was number 8, and that reading the comments meanwhile. Love you guys. And 2024, number 8, was the year of justice. Justice and balance. So, and I said that it makes all the sense, that for some people it was challenging, for some people it was amazing, and for some people it was both of them, including myself. And both of them for me personally means that for a while I don't really make a difference. Of course there are moments when I feel, you know, humanly, physically, emotionally, in whatever ways. There are moments when I feel better. There are moments when I feel worse. There are moments when I can call my friend and say, I don't know, like it's all awful. I'm a human. So there are those moments. And I'm not trying to, you know, avoid life as it is happening. And yet, on a higher level and on a deeper level, I don't make difference. There is no good and bad for me anymore. So the challenges have been the opportunities of growth. And the mistakes have been the major learning points. You know? Someone said at some point, and I think it's genius to repeat now and again, that just remembering and considering how much I have learned from my mistakes, I thought I will make a few more. So, and that quote in its like humorous and light way actually characterizes pretty well this energy of the justice, of balance, as an arcana or archetype of the year, and why it makes so much sense that it's both amazing and challenging year. And you know, finding your balance, finding the justice. You know, it's like this. It's related to the sign of Libra. This arcana, and when you imagine this goddess of justice, Maat, in Egyptian tradition, or Justitia in Latin Roman tradition, for example, then they are weighing those scales, and they have normally the eyes are blindfolded, and on the scales there is the feather. And Maat, according to the legend, they weigh the feather when you enter the other world after your death, and they see how your soul is balanced with that. And that means that the perfect balance, the perfect purity, is that you have cleared up everything that has been impure. And the impurity is something that we can call karma, in other words. coming from the Indian tradition. So we have the karma from previous lives, from this life, and each and every of our deeds, or what we don't do, or our words, creates a new karma. And this karma can be positive or negative, but in the end, you need to find the 0 point, the weightless, the light state of the soul, when it can be weighed with the feather and it doesn't weigh it out. That's when we are ready to enter to the next stage. So that was the energy of 2024, clearing of the karma, going through the lessons and finding that sense of justice that brings you that peace where you can say that, okay, everything that has happened, what has hurt me, what has cost me joy, what will happen, what is happening right now, what I have done, what has been done to me, it's just all righteous, it is all fair, it is all just. I have no bad feelings, no complaints, it's just thank you. And that's that state of peace. And of course, building the connections, that means that you prepare for this hermit energy. You prepare to go even deeper within your soul, because you have that peace. You don't need to focus on anything outside. You don't have this heartache or some kind of not about this, that's not no. You have found that peace, that balance, and now you're ready to go. Right. So that was that. So that's why this 2024 has been characterized so controversially by people, and that's why all of those descriptions make sense. It could be also explained because number 8 is a tricky one, because in different decks, the cards 11 and 8 are changed in between each other, and strength or lust, or like I call it a force, animalistic spiritual force, is also something that could be depicted here, but I leave it for now. That would be a bit too long. But the point is the same. If you would take that logic, it's also finding balance and harmony, but in that case, it's the harmony and balance between the spirit and matter, between our animalistic, it's again this purity of sexuality, this purity of your life force, this lion, this animal, and the spirit, because as a spirit you live through this animalistic force and power, and when those two come together, then you are not ruled by your desires, but you have made the desire as a pure force into your life force. And again, if this huge kind of a conflict is resolved and these have come together, we are ready to go even more deep. So by whichever of those arcanas we look at it, we have found the balance, and we are ready to go even more deeply within and I want to say, because some people who are really dear to me are watching together, and I'm really, really so grateful to have them in my life. Then I want to say that in this 2025, may that be a year when we, besides finding ourselves even more deep, we also find our tribe, our people with whom we can journey together. Yes. Alrighty. And now, let's go to your personal messages. Isn't that amazing? It's like the, oh, I love you too. It's like this, you know, in the New Year's Eve, in my country at least, we, I don't know how it's called, but we have this metal. It's like a liquid metal, and we, it will be hot, burning, and we hold this liquid metal on something, and then we really quickly we pour it into cold water, and then we take out the figure, you know, whatever figure, whatever shape this metal has taken. So now when you take it out of the water, it's metal. It's hard. It's a figure, and then this is something like a kind of a traditional way of fortune telling, because then we look at each other's figures. Oh, what did you take out of the? Oh, what did you get? Oh, wow, what does that mean? And then we interpret and like, interpret and give meanings to each other's little sculptures. So this one feels like as exciting. So you have chosen your deck, and this, need to move this again. Right. So that was number one. For everybody who has joined later, welcome. That was number two. You are just on time. Watch the replay. I gave a really good overview of the general energies before that. And number three, but for now, if you joined later, then choose your deck, connect to your heart, and see what this year has to bring specifically for you. So, shall we start from number one? Number one. So if you chose number one, then you have a beautiful, beautiful chance to stop thinking and start feeling. Because you are ready for new beginnings in your life. So those new beginnings are right here. This is the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is the most high energy card after the Sun in the whole deck. The Wands are the energy of fire, which means the fire of your soul, the passion of your heart, your creative potential. It's all here. It's ready to manifest. It wants to It wants to go out into the world and find new outlets of self-realization, for living with your heart wide open, for being the fiery creator, the passionate, the honest, the fully alive being that you are meant to be. You are ready for the new beginning. Now, in order to unlock that potential, you need to let go of some old wounds. And those old wounds, or maybe they are not so old, maybe you are in the middle of some kind of a heartbreak right now, then my darling, this is a part of life. This is a normal part of life. This is something we all experience from time to time. And as I said, I'm simply a human just like all of us, so I have experienced, and I do experience those moments too. And I know that when the pain is there, then it doesn't feel good. And when someone comes and says that, oh, you know, it's normal and da, then you would like to say, like, you know, fuck you. Right. But the thing is that what causes the pain in this case is not so much what is happening in your heart. It feels like your heart is aching. It feels like there is so much heartache, and that your heart is broken, and someone has just stabbed into your heart, and like everything is, or many small things just go wrong, and all together it makes you feel like, you know, it's all so impossible and so painful. But the truth is that although it feels like that, then actually in reality the pain that we feel in this case is caused by our thoughts. It's the mind that is telling those stories. It's the mind that is saying that, look, how did they behave? Look how much I was mistaken. Look how not enough I was. I should have done it like that, or I should have not done that, or how could they be like this, or this is the story of my life, it always happens to me, or like, you know, whatever the story is. But the point is that it's created by the mind, and oftentimes unconsciously, because the strongest stories that we carry within and that do not support us, we don't do it consciously, but they come from the deeper wounds and from the deeper programming that we have from our childhood, and even, you know, from other lives or cultural and social conditioning, all of it. So unconscious or conscious, but it's these thoughts and stories that actually cause the pain. That's why I said in the beginning that it's a chance and it's an opportunity for you to stop thinking and start feeling, because that's the invitation of that card. So it doesn't mean that you should avoid or deny your feelings. What it means is the contrary. Feel those feelings. Allow yourself to cry, or like hit the fucking pillow, or you know, whatever the feelings are that need to be felt, but stop thinking, analyzing, finding explanations that don't help you but make you feel worse. So that's the invitation of that one. And when you have allowed yourself to feel, then naturally you will find the place where you just need to take a rest. And take a rest again from what? From thinking. Because our mind wants to understand everything, make sense, find solutions to move on. But the thing is that the mind, this is the three of swords, and swords is the element of air that is connected to the intellect and the mind. So that's why this card, it is painful, but it's painful because of the thoughts. And the rest we need to take is also from the thoughts. Because the mind, it's the mind's character. It wants to protect us. It wants to make sense. It wants to find the safety through, logical ways. But life doesn't work like that. We need to feel. We need to be in the heart, and we need to accept. Sometimes just accept and just feel. And even though it might feel painful, and maybe at some point the thoughts were like consoling you, then there will be a moment where you just need to allow yourself to fully feel. And that will bring you peace. And when you find that peace, then don't start thinking about the next steps or whatever, or even about, what is the lesson that I learned from here? Wait. Just rest. Just meditate. Just be in peace. Just tune in with your feelings and body and heart again. And that's the way to open up your new fire, your creative potential. And when you open that creative potential up, when you are more in tune with your fire again, then the new challenges that will come in whatever field in your life, in whatever new conflicts in your mind, in whatever kind of healing that you might be going through, this fire will be your strength, and it will help you, because you have opened up the path of a new self-realization again, and that will give you energy, and that will give you courage, and that will give you connection to your soul, because the fire we are talking about is your soul fire. So that is the message for you, darling, if you chose deck number 1. You need to learn to feel more instead of thinking, and not be afraid of the pain. All right. Number 2. If you chose that one, and I promised to tell you what was the card that already fell out in the very beginning from this deck, and that's one of the most beautiful cards. I really love that one, and that when I said before for this for the ones who chose deck number 1, that learning to feel, then this is the Queen of Feeling, the Queen of Cups. Now, cups is the element of water, and water is related to our emotional realm, to the feelings, to connection, to relationships, to desires. And of course, all elements are connected and interrelated, as we can see if you look at these together. Although this is the Three of Swords, then the central figure on the card is the heart. So it's, the feelings and thinking, they are related to each other. And now the Queen of Cups, she's the master of feeling. She's really in tune with herself. She knows who she is. She knows what she needs. She's a deeply, deeply, deeply feminine. So from this deck, The first message is, and it's not important if you are a man or if you are a woman when you chose that deck. The first message from the Queen of Cups is finding contact with your deep, beautiful, feminine, who is the holder of your holy grail, of the grail of your heart, where your feelings are flowing, where your inner river is moving back and forth, when you are in contact, in tune. And the Queen of Cups, she doesn't make compromises. She doesn't make compromises. I should have left her out, actually. But okay. She doesn't make oh, and she's right here. Amazing. She doesn't make compromises on her truth. And she feels her truth mainly through her emotions. And she trusts them fully. Now, it is pretty incredible actually, because the second part of the message for you who chose this deck comes from the Queen of Swords. So this is incredibly beautiful and powerful feminine energy that you are invited to connect with this year in 2025. Now, they are both queens, so they are both the highest qualities of the feminine, but they are in different elements. So the Queen of Swords, the element of air, which is connected to our intellect and thoughts, and the Queen of Cups, connected to the element of water and to our emotional realm. So again, like funnily enough, the message for the people who chose number one was, to think less and feel more, and yet at the same time we always have to have the balance. So this is like a perfect balance. It's trusting your feelings and also trusting your thoughts. So when we imagine, so as I said, the Queen of Cups, she's like the holder of the Holy Grail. She's this really, really gentle, really emotional woman, and she feels her truth primarily through her emotions. Okay? Now the Queen of Swords represents the woman who is really clear in her mind. She knows what she wants. She knows what she aspires to. She can always see the bigger picture. She has the ability to look at her life from a higher standpoint. So the Queen of Cups, although she feels her truth and connects to her truth primarily through emotions, the element of water, right? It doesn't mean that she's drowned in that. And together with the Queen of Swords, when we look at them together as our inner qualities, also people in our lives, they really beautifully represent these two, the emotional and the intellectual. Because as much as we need to trust the feeling and the heart, we also need to have the clarity of the mind. Oftentimes in spiritual circles, it is said that you should kind of get rid of your mind and come to the heart. And yes, in a way it's true, we are on a journey from here to here, from which we have into this heart space and the womb space, which is also connected beautifully. We need to come back here. We need to find that wisdom again, because that has been denied and suppressed for ages, because only the mind has been glorified, and women as such have been considered, like too emotional and not to be taken seriously and so on and so forth, because their wisdom is in the body, in the feeling, and in this unexplainable, illogical ways of knowing the truth. But it doesn't really mean that we need to lose the mind as such, because we need that quality too. As women and men, we need both the feminine and the masculine qualities. And now the Queen of Swords is a woman who has this clarity of mind in service of her heart. So we don't need to get rid of the mind, but we need to connect the mind and the heart and the womb, the mind and the heart and the body. We need to connect those different ways of operating in life, of perceiving life. And now what is crucial for the Queen of Cups is that this quality, this clear mind, this ability to know what you want, where you are going to see the bigger picture, to have the discernment, what is good for you, what is not good for you, what would you like to choose, what would you not like to choose, right? So having that clarity and this really high intelligence that makes you a smart woman, strategic woman, all of that, it's also your qualities. But it is not the high level of intellect or of you being intelligent that gives you the power, but it's the purity of your mind. And by the purity of your mind, I mean the innocence. It is the childlike mind. And that quality is supported by how deeply you can go into your heart, respect your feelings, hold yourself gently and not make compromises on that truth. That opens up this childlike innocence and leads you back to your true nature of who you are, and gives you that pure mind. Because that pure mind is not just intellectually capable, but it's connected to the spirit. And that makes us integral. So, if you, darling, chose deck number 2, then this year for you is a year to connect to your heart and mind and really learn to know your feminine qualities. The qualities of intuition, gentleness, sensuality, depth of your heart, your bodily senses, and this inexplainable mystery within. So develop those qualities and surround yourself with this kind of women. Think of your female role models who kind of represent those qualities for you, and learn with them, work with them. I don't know, follow them if they are somewhere on social media or whatever. Go to women's retreats. Meditate, dance, do all those kinds of things. If possible, find a mentor who embodies these qualities, and that helps you find a deeper connection with yourself. And again, as the general energy of this year is the Hermit going inwards, then for you this path is very feminine qualities related. Yeah. And last but not least, 2025 for you, who you chose, deck number 3. Ah, goodness. It's funny that at this very moment I can feel the excitement or at least one of you who chose that deck. and I think you know who I'm talking about, and maybe there are more of you, but yeah, I love that. Yes, you, Karina. How did you know? Oh, right. So, what already comes to me is that, and I'm taking on purpose a little bit time to shovel this deck and to take these cards because something is coming through before the cards themselves. And it's that it is deeper trust. So deeper trust is the main thing. Is the main thing for you, and that deeper trust for you will be foremost on the level of your feelings, in the emotional field of your life, because in 2024 you have made quite some progress in making your life better. You have found a new a new circle of people around you, new ways to be happy, new things that make you feel content and fulfilled and satisfied, and this is a good feeling, and it gives this kind of a in a way it's like a feeling of safety and security, because I feel good, I have nice social circles, and I kind of, I celebrate life, I have people with whom I can share, and I feel nice and I feel good, and my life has become sort of a celebration in a way, and it's light and it's easy. And why it gives the feeling of safety is that, I don't necessarily, need desperately, someone or something to kind of, make me happy or, whatever. And that kind of excludes the threat of choosing some kind of bad relationships, because why would I if I'm already good? In that case, what I want to choose into my life is something or someone that makes my life better, not worse. And then sometimes when we have found that way of being and that kind of celebratory, nice and easy flow, then there comes a point where it is as if life is kind of offering something more, or our hearts like wanting something more, And at the same time, we're like, nah, not sure, because I'm already good, and I don't want to take too many risks, and those risks might bring disappointments, and so let me better keep my nice and easy way of life. But the thing is that if you really do feel that you want to move on, and there is an opportunity for that. Maybe it's a new relationship, maybe it's a deepening of an existing one, maybe it's a deepening of my own spiritual journey. That can also be that, because when we are in the field of cups, which is emotions and our heart and our relationships, then the first thing we tend to think about is romantic relationships. And this is a big part of that field. This is a big part of our lives. But it's not the only one. And when our soul and heart are calling for more, then it doesn't mean that now I need to find a romantic relationship. No, it can be anything. It can be anything. But whatever that more is, it's just that you will have that moment when you are like, yeah, I'm good. But the message for you is that this year wants to offer you more, and you need to take it. You need to take what life has to offer you. However, as I was describing with these two, with those feminine qualities of clear mind and deeply feeling heart, you have to have the discernment, right? Because when life is offering you something more, darling, make sure that it is more in a good way. Because for example, that same example of romantic relationship, not any outlook for that with any kind of partner is not necessarily what is the more that you need. And in that case, trust your heart and trust your mind, both of them. Because your mind knows your previous experiences. So if you see red flags, then don't paint them white this time. Okay? Then trust your mind as well as your heart. They are both important. And take the more. And trust that yes, that more might shake your status quo, your nice and easy way of being, that you are right now, and it might bring, and it will bring, some new depths that you need to go through. Some kind of disappointment energies might come up. But if you have chosen wisely, and if you have really taken what life has been offering you, if you have taken it from your power, from your discernment, from trusting yourself, really, even more deeply. And that means also saying no to what is not that, and trusting that that more is coming in a form and in a way and in a time that you feel the full yes. And even though you take it from that powered place and it's truth, then still, because it's the nature. It's the nature of development of your heart. It's the nature of development of your heart that if we go into relationships that are more healthy and more safe, as we have wanted, then those relationships also take us more deep. Our deeper wounds and deeper pains and deeper shadows can come up as well. Why? Because it's safe, because we have resource, and because we are ready for that, and because we have people and relationships around us that allow it. And in that case, you don't need to be afraid of this energy, of these old pains and wounds, but welcome them, because now they enter a healing space. So, for you, my love, 2025 has something more to offer, and although you are already good, please take it, because it will lead you to it will lead you to the deepest fulfillment in yourself and in your life that you can imagine. This is the world or the universe, and this is the last card of the major arcana, which means that your journey of the hero, the journey of your soul, has come to the place where some big cycle in life has found its conclusion. And I use the word conclusion very consciously and deliberately, because there is no such thing as end. You know, alpha and omega, beginning and end, they are always together. In reality, if we are in tune and in contact with the reality beyond the 2D and the 3D world, so to say, or whatever terms we might want to use, then we know that the time is not really linear. It's not like we started from like, Jesus Christ was born, right? And then, no, like that's AD, before Christ and then Anno Domini, or like now, this beginning of measuring time, it's a conceptual, it's human created. Life has been there always, and the life is really, it's cyclical, it's spiral. So we are moving in those spirals where all the moments and all the wisdoms and past lives and whatever future, and it's all here. We are just in one dimension of our reality, and whatever wisdom and knowledge come to us, whatever we connect to right now, is somehow relevant right here, right now, in this life, in this dimension for us. And that conclusion is also a beginning of the new. And the new, yes, it will be a new journey of the hero, a new journey of the fool, because this is the fool, actually. This is the fool who is the hero of the journey accomplished. So the difference between the world or the universe and the fool, so this is 21 and the fool is 0, it's in a way one and the same, but the fool is the unrealized potential. This is the pure consciousness that has no awareness of itself at all, and the universe or the world, it's the fool or the hero or the soul you realized. You who have come through all the lessons of your life, through all the situations, and you have refound your purity, your consciousness, your wholeness. Because the fool, the number zero, it's also a whole. It's not lacking anything, but doesn't even know that it might be doing that in a way, because there is no experience yet. Now here there is the experience. So with this experience there is the wisdom and maturity. And that means that the spirit and the matter, the soul and this very human being have come together. There is no conflict. There is nothing missing. There is nothing you want to get rid of. It's perfection. And it might also mean that you would want to travel around the world this year, because tarot is really, it's a complex system, and there are different levels of interpreting the cards. I like to do it really personally and spiritually, focusing on you as a person, as a soul, because I find that the most important. But as the tarot is so complex and so nuanced and so rich system, there are so many levels and layers on which to interpret it. And one of the meanings attributed to the card world is also traveling, journeys, because it symbolizes this completion of a journey. But what is journeying and what is world? Literally, it is the world that we live in, and there are so many places and cultures that can enrich us and that can contribute to the growth of our soul and our being. So for some reason I felt like bringing that aspect out as well, because when I look at these cards together, and I said before, when I didn't have that card out yet, I said that life has something more to offer you, and although you are already relatively good off, you need to take risks. You need to take what life has to offer you. And now reading these two together, I would say that you need to do things that you haven't had enough courage maybe to do before. You need to go out into the world. Maybe you need to take some retreat that is outside of your country. It's one really good safe way for traveling, actually, and it's also contributing to that personal growth and really taking more for yourself. And you need to take those risks, and you need to be courageous, and you need to risk the whatever disappointment or whatever there might be. You need to take them more. Life has to offer you more, but you need to be proactive also. So there needs to be action. It's life is not coming and knocking on your door and dragging you to travel. Like you need to open your laptop and book the ticket or whatever, wherever you are called to. So maybe that's the calling to go and to offer you something different. That is the more that the life has to offer you. But you have to be the one who is taking the offer by buying this ticket for yourself and going for it. So, life has to offer you more. So take the more, take the cup, take the risk, and go out there in the world, because that will help you to come into the integral, wholesome universe of your internal world and of your own life, and continue from a new blank page as a fool again, but remembering that you are never going back, because there is no back, there is no forth. You are going higher because you have got the lessons learned, you have taken what life had to offer you, you have taken your risk, and that all makes you grow into the higher level of your own being. So the new journey you will take is, in a way, again, you are forgetting everything, you are learning lessons again, and you are going through the cycle again, but you are doing it on a new level. So for you, darling, in conclusion, you are ready for your next level. Take what life has to offer you and go for it. Right. Thank you. And thank you for my camera stand, because it stopped falling down at some point. Like for the first half of the video, I was just going and adjusting it all the time. But now, I don't know how, maybe it's a miracle or something, or maybe some of you were so grateful and happy for the messages that you received for me that my my camera stand took the energy and started to keep my camera nicely into position to let me work and focus on my thing instead of fixing it all the time. So thank you, lovelies. The energy went two ways. It's always two ways. Hello Julio, so nice to see you. Mwah, ciao. So lovely to see you, people. And yeah, if you came now, then I'm just finishing, but this live will be up on YouTube, so there will be a replay from the beginning, and you're not losing anything because the energy is there. So go for it in the replay. And one more thing that I like to say is that if you are looking for if tarot is something that you are interested in, and maybe even tarot and personal and spiritual growth, then I have something for you, because I have learned from my own teacher, Swami Prabhupada Prem. I have learned a really special methodology to learn tarot, and it's actually it's incredible, and it's genius. And last year when we did one lesson together, he gave me his blessing, and he said, Satya, go and do that with a group, teach tarot like that. And it's combining, I'm not going deeply into that, but it's combining tarot and learning about the tarot with Satori. And Satori is a really, really beautiful, deep, ancient, Tibetan way of meditation. And going within. Thank you. So I have a course coming up, and it will start on January 27th. It will go throughout the February, and it will take your commitment at some point of time 21 days in a row. So it would require 1 hour of your day for 21 days to learn tarot with this special meditative methodology. So that allows you to learn about tarot, not just like in a theory, like, oh, this is that card, but that allows you to learn actually personally relating to the cards and to the archetypes, and to really go through it within yourself. So in that way, the learning is much more effective, and you have a different relationship. And that will be about major arcana. So that is a whole course in itself, because major arcana as such is a whole system. But if you are interested more, and you can decide that after that one, there will be a follow-up for the minor arcana in March. So yes, we are starting on 27th of January, when we have the introductory meeting, when we found out your personal tarology as well. And then from the February 3rd, we go into the 21 days intense, where we meditate and learn about tarot for 1 hour per day. And then on 3rd of March, we have the conclusion meeting. Yeah. So, and that's amazing. I offer with that one, for the ones who want it, I offer a certification as well. If you choose both the major and minor arcana and you complete the 2 courses, then I offer you a certification of having completed the course in tarot too. So this is my great news. it's like my personal great news, because you know, I have been, the ones who know me for longer, you know that I have been working with tarot for a while in many different contexts. I have been out there in the festivals. I have been doing like group circles of tarot. This year in Estonia, I was in a really special market fair, and I was holding this group therapy process. And in Women's Festival, we had a really beautiful abundant woman circle, and then another deep medicine circle with tarot, with a smaller circle of women. So I have done a lot of different work with tarot, and individual sessions, of course, as well. But I have not developed a course and actually like teaching the tarot as a system yet. So, and then I have been asked for it for quite a while already. So finally I am ready. And yeah, my course outline is also ready. It will be on my homepage soon. And yeah, I'm happy to have you. I'm happy to have you in the group. So if you are interested, if you already know that you are interested, then I can't give you the link yet to click on, but just give me a DM, give me a private message, and I will sign you up. All right. So thank you once again, and see you this new year. I will also be coming live with weekly tarot readings again from next week. Yeah, from next week. But no, I will be traveling to Bali in the beginning of next week, so probably sometime towards the end of the week, or maybe a week after that. Anyway, the weekly tarot lives will be also here again, so you know there is something to look forward to with your coffee cup. Enjoy. and yeah, the course in tarot. Mm-hmm. Oh, and because for the message for this number 3, I had this traveling thing. One new thing that I will be offering as well is individual spiritual power journeys in Bali. They will be including some healing with me. They will be including yoga, dance, of course the trips in nature, fire and water ceremonies with local priests and priestesses, and all the beautiful that Bali has to offer, but in a really personalized way, because if I offer it individually, then you know I can customize it and tailor make it for you. So yeah, feel free to book that one with me. Happy to meet you there. And yeah, that's it for now. See you soon. Mwah. Bye.